Hello everyone and welcome. I'm your host Tyler Kern. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Today we're going to introduce you to EquipWare. We're going to tell you a little bit more about what they do, how they got their start, and what's coming down the road for EquipWare. And joining me here today is Edward J. Hernandez, the general manager of EquipWare. Edward, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. We're thrilled to have you here with us today, Edward. So first and foremost, we're introducing the audience a little bit more to EquipWare. Tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Well, it goes back 30 plus years, being in an industry where we have seen a significant amount of transformation in healthcare as it pertains to design and construction. Mm-hmm. I started as a clinician and got tapped on the shoulder for an opportunity at a hospital locally here in Dallas to be on a team to look at the design and construction of a new building on the campus. I had never been exposed to healthcare design and construction, but it intrigued me. Yeah. Enough to the point where I decided to leave the clinical bedside aspect of healthcare and get involved working as a medical equipment planner with a firm and done that ever since.
How much do you feel like having some experience on the clinician side maybe helped give you a different perspective than maybe some of the other people you were working with when it came to facility planning?
I think that the real world experience at the bedside has a play in helping influence how things are designed and how things are built. There's been a migration towards leveraging a clinician's expertise as part of a design team where you're working with other experts, architects, engineers, owners, on identifying opportunities to create environments that promotes better outcomes for patients and for the staff. And so over the years, we have seen a metamorphosis and a change in how design teams are put together and how they function in designing a new project.
So you told us a little bit more about your personal background and how you got started in this line of work. How did EquipWare end up coming about and this kind of all begin?
So when I started in this industry, one of the challenges that I encountered quite frequently was the limitation around an application or a software platform that would allow you to manage information. And a lot of this information is very detailed. It gets into the minutia of a piece of equipment and what is required for that piece of equipment to function properly in a given clinical or healthcare space. Mm-hmm. Over the years, I encountered a number of applications and platforms that were either homegrown or available in the open market. And I always felt like there were some constraints around using those systems. And I took it upon myself with some other very smart individuals to identify a design criteria, so to speak, for an application that would afford us the ability to create a budget, plan, procure, and manage the installation of equipment as a continuum and not have to use disparate systems to achieve what you're trying to achieve from a planning and project management perspective.
Yeah.
So back in 2008, I, along with some other folks inside a firm I was with, sat down and came up with this idea. And we launched an internal application that was web-based, and it made a vast improvement in our ability to deliver information in a way that was seamless and accurate and created a better outcome not only for the project but also for the end user of who was using the application. Over time, that too changed. There was an ongoing investment in the application because it was a tool that was being leveraged for internal purposes inside a company. And about a couple years ago, myself and my two business partners were having a brainstorming session, and I looked at them and said, let's start a software company. And they were like, okay, let's do that. I'm not going to sit here and profess to be a software guy. I feel like I'm an idea guy. But I'm working with a really great set of individuals who have spent the last 24 months pouring into the development of what is now a cloud-based software as a solution platform that we are going to provide to the open market. And it will be a subscriber-based platform with a very robust feature set that is a big differentiator out there in the industry. And I'm excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So thinking through this now, when someone is beginning a project and in the design phase, where in that process do you believe is the best time to utilize and to bring in EquipWare? Is it at the very outset? Is it once you kind of have some blueprints? Tell us a little bit more about when's the ideal time.
I think the number one success factor in a project's launch is making sure you have the right people around the table to help the owner and the team identify what are we going to spend here?
Yeah.
What is it going to cost to do this project? So accurate budgeting from the outset, I think, is a key indicator on how successful the project can be. I've experienced too many times where you get started and or you get brought in rather late in the process after maybe a budget's been established, and unfortunately you have to deliver some tough news of saying your medical equipment, furniture, or artwork budget is woefully low, and this is what it's going to take if you want to keep this program intact. So I believe that the earlier the team is holistically engaged to look at a project opportunity and to provide some really sound, solid, accurate numbers puts everyone in a position to succeed. So it varies from project to project, Tyler. I mean, it could be, like I say, during programming, which is where you are sitting down and formulating, this is what we think we need. This is what we think we need to build this new building. These are the types of spaces, the types of departments, the types of clinical services we're going to offer to this community from a healthcare perspective. And then you carry that through all the way until the very end when the doors open and they see a first patient. So my goal, and I think the goal of everybody that's involved in this EquipWare venture, is to promote an opportunity to create better outcomes and a higher level of satisfaction for those that are doing this type of work, regardless of what owner or what company it is. And it can be, whether it's a healthcare project, it can be a hospitality project where you're dealing with a lot of furniture and artwork. It can be a commercial project. It can be an office like yours, where you've got a lot of technical equipment and things of that nature that you need to understand. If I'm going to use this in a given room, what do I need for it to function properly? And that's everything from electrical to ventilation to lighting, you name it. It's intended to provide the specifications so the engineers and the architects and the owner can understand you have to have these things in place so when it shows up, it plugs and plays. That's
really interesting also, and you started off in healthcare, but now you kind of have the ability to do all types of different settings.
Absolutely. I mean, I think this platform is, I want to say, agnostic in the sense that it is right now, and it has been for the number of years, 99% utilized in a healthcare environment for healthcare projects. But it also has an application to non-healthcare projects. Again, like I said, the hospitality market, interior designers, engineers, architects, equipment planners. I see the platform initially being, we are going to target the healthcare market. It makes sense. That's inside our wheelhouse. And so we'll be looking to spread our wings a little further once we get at least some solid ground under us with the new platform and the company, and pursue those goals at a later time.
Speaking of future goals and where you see things heading, what sorts of features and what do you see for the future?
Well, today we feel like we have created a software as a solution platform that is very robust from a feature set perspective in allowing planners to have a contiguous workflow that gets them through the planning process, into the procurement process, dealing with the procurement and delivery of these items, and ultimately handing over the keys to the areas that you're working in. There are a couple of features that are part of the launch. One is a mobile application. Is a tool that allows you to use your phone, your iPad, to walk through an area and inventory any asset that is physically in the space, whether that's a Mayo stand, a patient bed, a patient monitor, whatever the case may be. You capture that information on the fly, seamlessly, leveraging the application itself, and then it automatically imports into your project. The other feature that we think is pretty slick is the ability to have a Revit plugin. Revit is a platform that is unanimously used now in the design community for developing your plans that are used for design and construction. A lot of 3D modeling, a lot of layering of information so you can check on conflicts between disparate systems. EquipWare has a Revit plugin that affords the user the ability to connect the Revit model and the EquipWare project that you're working on. So if you make changes in the system, it annotates that in the model and vice versa, so they communicate to each other. We think that is going to help mitigate the risk around people not seeing things that have changed in their project, and also improve the ability of the engineers and the construction managers and those that are using those platforms to see information in a way they haven't seen before, which in turn, more information, more fidelity in the information, arms them with the ability to make good decisions for their client.
Absolutely. Where can people find more information about EquipWare, who you are, what you're doing, and your solutions?
We are a fresh launch. We are at www.equipware.com, and we're out on LinkedIn, and we're going to be on other social media platforms, and I appreciate a little plug for Market Scale here that you guys are doing this for us as well. So yeah, that's going to be the launch. And we're just excited to see where this goes. We will be at the Healthcare Design meeting in San Antonio in October as a exhibitor, which will be our first big splash. And so, yeah, we're excited about this.
Well, we are excited to see where this continues to go and continue to see you building things forward. Edward J. Hernandez, General Manager of EquipWare. Edward, thank you so much for being here today.
Appreciate it, Tyler. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Everyone, thank you for tuning in today. Remember to visit equipware.com to learn more information and stay tuned for more from them. But for this episode today, for Edward J. Hernandez, I'm Tyler Kern. We'll talk to you next time.